Yo, it's Ipo, and in this video, we're covering the latest release from Finalmouse, the UltralightX. Before we get into the review, I want to quickly note that I have a batch 1 copy, and the issues I list in this video should be fixed for future batches. So with my copy, to be completely honest, the build quality is pretty terrible. Towards the rear on the side of the mouse, there is some notable creaking, even when the slightest amount of pressure is applied. I won't do a flex test, as I honestly think if I put enough pressure on this mouse, it will just snap. The main clicks have a bit of side-to-side play due to the overhanging design, and there is some slight grinding. I've also had some weird sensor issues. I'm not sure what is causing it, so I can't put full blame on Finalmouse themselves. However, one thing Finalmouse managed to do well compared to their previous releases is the scroll wheel. On the UltralightX, it's actually centered. After all these years of off-center scroll wheels, they finally managed to fix it, which just makes the rest of this mouse even more disappointing, as the mouse had so much potential to be great. As for the shape, I have the Lion, which is just your iconic Finalmouse medium. They also offer small and large variants named Cheetah and Tiger respectively. But as for the feel of the Lion, it's great for fingertip and may even work for some claw users if your hands aren't too large. The main buttons have comfort grooves which feel good, the scroll is well placed, and the sides flare towards the rear to provide support the palm. The hump is fairly centered to keep the low profile design. Now talking about weight, when Finalmouse first announced the UltralightX, they said it would come in at 33 grams. They later changed that to 35 and ended up shipping it out at 38 grams. Now this is still a great weight, but definitely not as crazy as they hyped it up to be initially. It still feels insane in use, and I found myself over flicking and having to slow down my movements because of how light this feels in hand. So I'm definitely impressed with the weight overall. The main clicks are insanely light, well tensioned, and feel great in use. I'm really impressed with these. Side buttons, however, aren't so impressive. On my copy, these feel terrible. They have really bad creaking, side to side play is terrible, and they just feel poorly designed overall. As I mentioned earlier, I think this is due to my unit being a batch 1 copy where the QC wasn't great, but it still doesn't excuse how bad these are for a mouse worth nearly £200. The scroll wheel feel, however, is pretty good, with the steps being fairly light and the click being bouncy and tactile. Moving on to polling rate, this mouse can currently go up to a max of 4000 Hz, with the ability to go up to 8000 Hz whenever Finalmouse releases the firmware update. As for the 4000 Hz performance, it was consistent and gave me no issues in use. A smooth and responsive feel overall. They have kept their standard 4-corner skate design, which I have no issues with because it's always worked great with their mice. The quality of these skates is notably better than their previous releases, the edges being much more rounded and having a better, more controlled overall feel. Coating on this mouse, however, isn't so great, which honestly disappoints me. Considering the price tag on this mouse, on side specifically, the combination of holes and poor coating leads to the mouse having a really slippery feel. The main clicks aren't as bad, and I have better grip since my fingers don't rest on the holes. The coating on this mouse, to be honest, is trash, and Finalmouse needs to do better. The software for this mouse is web-based, which is great. It saves resources and makes access to fine-tuning your mouse easy and straightforward. The UI is also very simple and easy to navigate, with customization for DPI, polling rate, LOD, motion sync, dongle LED, which essentially just allows you to display the battery life through the RGB or keep it static quiet, and you also have access to the firmware updater through this web software. So to give my brutally honest thoughts on this mouse overall, my experience has left me not able to recommend this mouse, at least for batch 1. Ever since I got my hands on this mouse, it has given me issue after issue. The QC is terrible, it has a sensor defect that I still haven't been able to diagnose or even solve with Finalmouse support. My unit honestly feels cheap, which should not be the case considering how much they're charging for this mouse. I am going to send this in for RMA and hopefully they send me out another copy or fix the issues present, but the state of batch 1 is still insanely disappointing. That's all for this video. I hope it has helped in one way or another. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.